Hello everybody and welcome back to the OWC World Cup 2023. We are here with another crazy matchup for you all this evening or this morning for our overseas viewers. We have the United States versus the Philippines. What a crazy matchup I did not think we were going to see in the losers bracket this year. The 5th seed versus the 3rd seed. Down fighting for a spot in the top 4 teams left in the tournament. One of these 2 teams will make it to next weekend, and one will be eliminated. I will be one of your casters today, Chillier Pair. I am joined by iFlame. Hello.
Hello, hello. This is the tournament that just keeps on giving. Philippines with their highest placement ever in the OWC World Cup. They've got Henry, Hyok, as well as Nathan Ram. Those are going to be the 3 carries that you're going to see in for just about every map on this team. And you've got, of course, Xylos, Venti for some of those speedier picks, Zone, Louise for the Hard Rock, Miggy probably going to be in on that hidden player. And man, what an insanely stacked United States roster. Despite being the 3rd seed, they have not gotten lower than 2nd place since 2014, getting 2nd once and 1st place every other time. They are a force to be reckoned with. Talk to me about this roster, Chillier.
Certainly something to keep an eye out for in this matchup, despite being the 3rd seed, and they did have their first downfall this year a little bit earlier than usual, dropping to the losers bracket. Of course, they did drop to the losers bracket last year as well, if you do remember that. The United States, not their first encounter with this lower bracket, despite being the reigning champions for, as you mentioned, 7 out of the 8 past World Cups, winning the 1st place finish. This is a great roster. It's very strong. Something to be noted is that it's very different from the previous US rosters. Only 3 of the players on this roster are remaining from last year's roster. Those players being Boshi Man, Taquito, and Rectigon. With the notable exceptions of Fiery Rage having played in 2021 and Vaxe having last played in 2020. But other than that, their roster is pretty new. If you compare that to the Philippines, only half of their roster is new this year, and that number actually jumps up to 5 people returning if you're counting C6 Venti, also known as Milk Teasim, from 2021. So both of these rosters running with some newcomers as well as some seasoned veterans on the board here. So, you know, in terms of experience on both sides, we really are looking for a pretty even matchup of those who are going to be comfortable in this scenario.
And that kind of leads into the pick ban strategy a little bit. Last week, we saw Philippines abuse the speed, abuse the tapping against South Korea to take them to 6-4. Unfortunately, we're not able to win that match, but did look good in that match. And so I think they're going to look to pick the tapping again. And that's a little scary. United States are a terrifying tapping team, but I'm not sure Philippines has too many great options. And I think the thing that pushes me towards the tapping picks for the Philippines is that you want to get Window Life, Woodsy, and possibly Comet into the lobby as much as possible. These are the new players that you mentioned, Chillier. You have to hope, and we've seen this a little bit in previous matches, especially in that Canada match where the US dropped 6-2, but some nerves have gotten to them a little bit on these speed picks, finding uncharacteristic misses, and I think Philippines are going to have to rely on that a little bit if they wanted to take this match.
You know, I think for picks and bans between these 2 teams, we have some inclinations of what these 2 teams are good at. As of right now, the Philippines has traditionally been the better mechanics team in this matchup. They've looked really good on tapping and aim and anything that requires those base level consistent and skill cap skill sets now that we're getting to the finals weekend. And the United States, a little bit more favored on the gimmicks, a little bit more mod favored. The highest team score the United States put up last weekend was on Free Mod 3. They were also the #1 performing team on Free Mod 2 as well. Free Mod 3 with a 3.3 million team score. They also were one of the teams with the largest overmod of last weekend on Free Mod 4, running 3 Hard Rocks. For the Philippines, their #1 team score last weekend, just over 3 million, was Double Time 1. So again, kind of reinforcing that mechanics versus more gimmicky styled matchup here. With that being said, another thing reinforcing this is the fact that the lowest performance for the Philippines last weekend was Nomad 3. The United States' lowest performance was Nomad 2. Again, kind of reinforcing this sort of narrative that one of these teams is better at the mechanics, being the Philippines, the United States maybe with an advantage elsewhere in some of the mod categories. So that might play into these bans here as we see them start to roll out. United States banning out the Hidden 1 and the Hard Rock 2 ban coming out from the Philippines. These are kind of more neutral maps, I think.
Yeah, Enry had the top score on Hidden 1 last week. It's slightly different, but a similar style, kind of a more flow aimy Hidden 1 as opposed to just that aim. And so going to be bending that out. We've got Hard Rock 2 now from the Philippines and waiting on their second ban. I would not be surprised to ban out one of those free mods. The United States, as you mentioned, have been one of the best free mod teams. And I think you're probably going to want to ban out the hardest free mod. They're going to go for the DT3 instead. So they do not want to play that kind of alt-style DT map.
That makes sense. You know, I'm okay with that. I do think the Philippines, again, more favored towards the other kind of mechanic-style maps. I would have maybe pinned them banning DT4 if they were going to ban a DT over DT3, but I think this is still fine. Quite a smart ban from them as well. The United States does run with a couple players in that category. You know, to maybe give them some trouble here. And the United States baiting out that Hidden 1 despite having a decent Hidden roster. The Philippines is just absolutely ridiculous on the Hidden pool in general. They are easily one of the best Hidden overall teams in the tournament. So there is zero question in my mind why the United States banned that map out. And they're actually going to be banning the Free Mod 4 as well. So there is that mechanics ban. There is the Freedom Dive removal here. Unfortunately for the Philippines, they won't be able to leverage that quite as much in this match. I believe they'll be, the United States will be trying to avoid that. With that being said, both of these teams are quite consistent on their own picks, actually. If you take the highest performing map and the lowest performing map for the United States, there was a difference of about 1.1 million score between that highest and lowest performance. For the Philippines, that difference was about 1.277 million. So both teams kind of equally consistent across their picks, or at least the maps that they had to play. The United States did have a higher high and a higher, or a higher low, I guess, and the Philippines had a slightly lower high score and a slightly lower low score, so maybe slightly favored in terms of performance from last weekend, but this is a harder pool for finals, so the skill cap really is going to show, and if those top three performers for the Philippines can show up today, they'll definitely have a greater chance of performing well than, I guess, against South Korea, who had a greatly well-rounded team.
Skill cap certainly going to be the big highlight of this match. The United States unarguably have one of the highest skill caps in the tournament, whereas you look towards the Philippines, they've got their core three in Enry, Hyuk, and Nathan Ram, but they've kind of struggled a little bit to put up that fourth player score. They got a few scores under, I think, 250k during last week already. This pool, being, I believe, the hardest pool in OWC World Cup history, is going to be tough, and I think the United States should be looking to pick the harder maps in the pool, you know, things like the Hard Rock 3, the Nomad 4, some of these just really brutal high skill cap maps, and force Philippines to put up a fourth player that is not comfortable playing the map, and I think they're going to have a lot of success if they continue with that strategy. We get a Nomad 3 pick from the Philippines, so we're going to be starting out with a little bit of ult.
This is... It's a okay start for the Philippines. You know, the pools are not the same slots from weekend to weekend, so it is harder to kind of draw some parallels between these two pools. Last week's Nomad 3 being flow aim alt, of course, with the I believe it was Sarah, the Celeb song, and of course number 39 this week being a little bit more snappy. It is a different kind of alt, but I do wonder, you know, what the Philippines have done to give themselves some more confidence on this Nomad 3. We did talk about it earlier. Nomad 3 technically was their lowest scoring map of last weekend, actually, with that 1.779 million team score. So I'm quite interested to see how the Philippines have improved their performance from last week in order to maybe give them an advantage on this map against the United States, who, might I add, was the #1 performing team on last week's No Mod 3. They was one of the 4 maps that they placed first on overall.
And not just that, it was Taquito, Rectigon, both full comboing last week's No Mod 3. We were the only 2 FCs across the weekend. And look at those 2 top spots for the United States. Fiery Rage, Taquito, back in the lobby. These are the players, or sorry, that was Taquito and Rectigon, I apologize. But either way, this is a terrifying alt roster. You have got Vaxe and you have got Kama into the lobby. On the side of Philippines, we have got Henry, Hyok, and Nathan Ram. And this time around, it is going to be Xyloz filling out that 4th slot, Hyok 2048. If you forget the Hyoks, exclamation mark, Hyok in the chat, we'll give you a list of all the Hyoks.
It is pinned too, if you'd like to reference that. One of our lovely moderators has pinned it up top, so please reference that if you need to.
This one is pretty spiky into the Ki section, so we're going to need to see players hold on through the easier sections in between those Ki's. And of course, that first Ki is one of the most important ones. The Ki's get, as many maps do, slightly harder into the later stages of the map, especially that solo towards the ending. And so the combos early on are going to be very important. And here we go into our first map.
Looking at those star players to start us off, Henry on the side of the Philippines, definitely the name that I'm personally looking for. Henry is the #1 performing player in this lobby according to last weekend's statistics, followed very closely behind by Rectigon, who has found a very interesting miss early on here.
Yeah, almost just looked like he wasn't reading the map correctly, found a ton of misses, but is settled into the map now, maybe just wasn't holding the pen properly. Regardless, Rectigon is going to recover, as it's just going to be a slight advantage for Philippines. This is a pretty long one, so we're going to see the combos get up there for some of these players, and that's going to take a while before we really start to see this score lead grow for either side. And now it is Xyloz finding the miss. That's the 4th player that we were potentially worried about. We'll see if he can recover.
Well, 1 break for the Philippines. It comes out a 2nd one there for Xyloz as well, having the most trouble of their 4 roster here. Everyone else looking slightly comfortable. However, Nathan Ram is going to find that 2nd break, and so does Henry. Wow. The triple break from the Philippines, not super good for them here, but we're only a quarter of the way into the map, so there's plenty of time left for some recovery here. The United States, they're holding up 2 full combos right now, 1 on Kama and 1 on Vaxe. Rectigon quite close behind, about 100 combo back, and Taquito a little bit more with the pack of the Hyoks here, with the exception, of course, of Hyok 2044 being the original. The original is holding it down.
And Kama has found the miss. That's a big combo down. Rectigon is on near. Oh, there goes Hyok. That is a disaster for Philippines. They have no big combos left. Henry, as well as Nathan Ram, are on the recovery. Kama misses again, but doesn't really matter as long as they can hold on to their 2 big combos. This is the next Ki section, followed up by a tricky solo. So we'll see if the USA can hold on to their combos. There goes Vaxe, only Rectigon, but Taquito has a nice recovery, so they're going to be all right for quite some time. And the Philippines are going to need a lot of breaks into this solo section.
You got Xyloz finding another break right there. It's on Henry right now, who has some of the best accuracy I have ever seen on this map, and I watched this map get play tested and practiced constantly. That is absolutely stellar. On the side of the United States, it's Rectigon holding it down, backed up by Taquito. They were the top 2 performing players for the United States last weekend, looking to be those carries again. Xyloz not having a great time on this for the Philippines, finding breaks, but their teammates are supporting them with some great combos here. If the United States find breaks, then Philippines will be able to claw this back. 200,000 score, though, into the final quarter of the map. It's gonna be close.
All depends who can hold on into the last Ki. Everybody getting through the solo so far. Here's the slider section, the big jumps, and everybody hits them. Oh, but there goes Xyloz again.
Oh, and Henry! Oh, no! Unlucky break from Henry there, and man, the accuracy just makes you feel so sad for that, because you know Henry is confident on this map right now. Rectigon just went demon mode alongside Nathan Ram in that section, both of them well above 1,000 combo here, so you've got 1 great player for both teams right now, and unfortunately Nathan Ram is going to find a break, but the damage had been done. It was a 300,000 score lead for the United States, and they're looking to take a break point for their first map of this match here. The Philippines going to be starting behind a bit, but they've got plenty of time to recover, and they are certainly going to need it.
And this was the big worry for the Philippines coming into this match, right? You look at Xyloz in the top right corner, and down at 300k, lowest score in the lobby by a decent amount, and Philippines has started to struggle with that fourth player. You have the 500ks from their core, but the support is just not there on pools this hard. So we'll see if the Philippines can get a few picks that are more comfortable for the supporting players. And I would have to imagine that's going to be the tapping picks, but I think they're going to hold off on both teams are going to be holding off on tapping. I think Philippines is going to be hoping for the US to pick that into them, but I don't think the United States are going to give it to them. They know the Philippines has been a tapping team throughout this tournament, and they're going to hold off on those picks as well. So these are two traditional tapping teams, and I think we might see all the tapping picks get left until much later on in this match.
Yeah, I agree. You know, something to be noted is that the United States, I believe, is running with a player who is feeling a bit unwell. I was originally informed that that player was Rectigon, but I don't know how well that's going to be holding up in his favor after that performance on the previous map there. But man, North America really not been running well with the sick players this weekend. Canada, too, alongside the United States. So, you know, both of them really maybe running into flu season a little bit here head first. I don't know. It starts getting cold nowadays.
Yeah, it's the winter months that always bring the flu, as you get the drastic temperature changes from the outdoors and the indoors. The flu catches on, I know, right. Zudi and Cut Paper, as well as potentially Rectigon. And Rectigon has been the key player for the United States. They have lots of people who can carry, but it has always been Rectigon at the forefront of this United States roster, putting up plenty of good scores. And we get the Nomad 5 pick, so they're going to opt into, I'd say this is kind of finger control speed.
You know, this...
Name control.
I would call this, yeah, it's like a hybrid-ish type map. It's definitely, you need a little bit of both, so I agree. This is not like a, hey, we have a player who's really good at this skill set, let's put them in type map. This is like a, we need our really good tournament players in for this because they can handle the pressure of this map. This was, I want to say, one of the more difficult maps when playtesting over the weekend before. So we're looking for some maybe lower scores on this map than we saw in Nomad 3.
Yeah, but this is the United States sticking with that strategy of just picking the absolute highest skill cap maps in the pool and having the Philippines struggle with that fourth player. We do see Milk Teaism in this time for the Philippines down in that bottom left corner, 2046, as well as, of course, the core three who are going to be perma-lobbied for the Philippines. And we see Kama in yet again. Kama has looked pretty solid so far. We'll see if the nerves get to Kama at all in this match. Is one of those rookies for the United States that has been very impressive throughout the tournament.
Yeah, you know, he had a little bit of a rough go in terms of combo compared to the rest of his teammates on that Nomad 3, but put up above 99% accuracy, was the only one to do so besides Enri. So very clearly confident in his abilities to play through this match. The Philippines, however, definitely running with their own stretch of roster that is going to try and run their way through this. Unfortunately, like you said, generally running with those three and then a fourth player on the back end. That last map was Xyloz, putting up about half of his teammates' score on that map. This time around, of course, they're going to be making that switch out for Milk Tea Sim. So one of those returning players, again, did not play last year, played the year before, so is not an unfamiliar face to the Philippines roster, but definitely coming back. Hopefully in stride, does find the first break for their team, however, but there's a double break for the United States to trade it out.
And Rectigon has been struggling a little bit early, finding multiple misses throughout this map. We're going to see some recovery out of Recti. And this map is really tough. The accuracy is going to be really tricky. There goes Hyok now. And so it is going to be 2 FCs to 2, but Milk Tea is really struggling with this one. Down at 90% accuracy, continues to find misses. And that's going to give a pretty sizable advantage over to the US. This is a very short map, and the ending absolutely brutal. Now, the density and the overlaps in this map make it a little bit tricky to read potentially for certain players.
Well,
Comma.
That's big. Oh, and Taquito too! Oh, the Philippines just got a huge advantage here.
They're holding Nathan Ram and Henry. We're halfway through the map now. This ending is tricky, but if anybody can hold on to the full combo, it is Henry. He is an absolute beast who's looked fantastic. Milk Tea finds another miss, but it doesn't really matter. Doesn't have any score anyways. And Yak is on a really nice recovery. There goes Recti now, so it's only one big combo. It is Vaxei against the world right now, trying to keep things close, and the scorebar goes back over. There goes Vaxei! And I think Philippines can take this one if they can hold on just a little bit longer. They still have those two full combos. This one might be in the bag.
This is big here. You've not only Henry, but Nathan Ram just going absolutely off on this pick. 96.8 win% accuracy, slightly less, but well above his teammates and well above two of the United States players there on the top, Rectigon and Vaxei. And there is nothing to go against Henry and Nathan Ram right now. This is their time. This is the break point. Looking to come back here. We're running out of map here, and unless we see a double break for the Philippines right now, they're going to be bringing this break point immediately back with an exceptional display of finger control mastery. Nathan Ram does find a break, but Henry being that hero again, the #1 performing player across both of these teams in this lobby, he is showing up, he is ready to go, he is putting his team on his back, and he is going to drag them to the finish of this map with one of the most exceptional performances of the weekend we've seen so far.
What a full combo. Huge performance from Henry, and that is a break point. Chillier, we have a match on our hands, 1-1. Now Philippines have the pick. They can look to get some momentum. And once again, fourth player for Philippines, really struggling, but this time around, Henry is there with the massive combo to make up that difference. And the United States couldn't really find anyone to match that combo. They had some really solid, consistent scores, all above 400k. But when you have a player like Henry pulling off that, it's just not enough. And now I think Philippines could potentially, it's hard to say what they want to look towards here. Maybe they opt for one of those kind of other nomads, maybe something like the Nomad 1, anti-mod map, but nomad.
I'm gonna venture to say DT1 is an option for them. Will they go for it this early? I'm not sure, but DT1 is definitely, I think, their best map in the pool to go for if they want a guaranteed point. Very similar to last week, consistency-based map. Puppet in the Dark is kind of just your classic style DT1. Nothing crazy here, nothing out of this world. And I think Philippines roster overall will be better catered towards DT1. Now, there is some danger in picking a DT1 into the United States, obviously, with that DT roster, especially some of their new players having been brought on being Woodshi and Window Life, giving them a bit of an advantage in that category against the Philippines. But despite that, it is the Philippines' #1 map from last week in the DT1, so it's possible if they want a good point here. But they're going to go into reading. It's going to be hidden too, so consistency reading. This is a bit of a longer map, 3 minutes.
I like this a lot for the Philippines. As you mentioned, I do agree that the DT1 will be their best pick, but I don't think you need it right now. I think you can save it. There's a decent chance that the USA could get a break point later on in this match, get their own point, and you're going to need something to stop that momentum from the USA, and that's when you bring out the DT1 pick. For now, it's perfectly fine to take some riskier picks. They're still going to have lots of picks throughout this match, and so there's plenty of time to pick the DT1. This hidden 2 is going to be overlap rating, that AR rate, and they do actually have Philippines quite a solid rating roster. On top of your core 3, of course, I imagine we're going to see Miggy in for this one as well, who is generally in for these low AR hiddens, and is quite solid. So I don't think they're going to get fourth playered quite as hard on this one. But on the other side, you have Bashi, Fiery, Taquito, and probably Vaxei for that last player. And Bashi is well known for these low AR hidden picks. He is so good at them, and I think that's who we're going to be looking towards on the US, along with Taquito, one of the best hidden players in the world.
He's definitely up there, and you know, someone that you see alongside Taquito very often is Henry. So both of them on quite a close caliber in terms of their hidden abilities overall. I think this map may come down to a team difference between both of these sides. Obviously, we know on the Philippines and the United States, they have great reading players. They have someone on both sides that can come in and just rip their way through this map. The question is, who has the better trio alongside that star performer? The Philippines, on that last pick, just proved that Henry can just win them points by himself. Now, the United States, they kind of did that with Rectigon on their, on the first, breakpoint as well. But now this is where it kind of goes back to even, right? Those breakpoints are out of the way, hopefully. And we're going to try and see if the Philippines can lock in their own pick here. It'd be a great start for them to get that pick advantage on the board here, because if the Philippines and the United States continue trading picks back and forth, that does put the Philippines at match point before the United States, forcing them to win their own pick to guarantee tiebreaker when that time in the match potentially comes. We'll see how the Hidden 2 goes.
Alternatively, if it does end up going to tiebreaker, US will have the last pick before going to tiebreaker, which to me is more favorable just from a mental standpoint, hopefully getting that win. But we do see 2 early misses out of Boshiman and Rectigon, so it's a long map, as you mentioned. We're going to see recoveries on most of these players. This one shouldn't be too big of an accuracy test, assuming everybody is comfortable on the low AR, and it appears to be so far, as we don't see anyone struggling heavily. There are some impressive accuracies, but just going to be a slight lead for Philippines, as there goes Miggy trading one back. That 4th player for Philippines potentially starting to struggle a little bit, but accuracy is not too bad, so hopefully Miggy can recover.
Not bad. Honestly, it doesn't... Ooh, unfortunately, though, that break from Nathan Ram is not going to help them out. I was going to say the break from Rectigon and his low accuracy was doing a little bit of damage, too, and it will continue to do so as he finds another break. Unfortunately for the Philippines, they have 2 players trading where 1 player is trading, and Boshiman with that early break sitting at 99% accuracy. Now, there goes Taquito, though, so that is only 2 FCs to 2 on both of these sides now. And there goes Henry, too. It is now just down to Hyok on the reading pick against Boshi and Fiery Rage. Can he hold the Philippines in this? Will Boshi or Fiery find a miss around this halfway section of the map? The Philippines will have to hope so, and there goes Fiery.
And Philippines are in a fantastic spot now. Hyok is the player you want to be holding the combo on these reading picks. I would say Hyok, probably their best reading player, maybe very close with Henry, but there's not really much break in this map. Every section is easy to find misses on if you're not aiming precisely. There goes Fire Rage again, and the Philippines are going to slowly bring this one back. They just don't have the supporting combo quite yet, but as Henry and Nathan start to recover, the score is going to go back over, especially if we keep seeing misses from the United States. Nathan missing is going to slow the bleeding a little bit for the US, but now Taquito and Boshi, that big combo's down. Hyok is going to bring this one back over so quickly, especially if we see a miss out of Rectigon.
Oh gosh, the United States now in danger territory, and the Philippines looking to take their own pick. It is down to Hyok, the original, the inspiration for this roster, going to be bringing them into the clutch scenario. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
It's just Henry.
Henry
has the biggest combo. There's still time. There's still a quarter of the map to go. I mean, Hyok has found the miss. The combo's down, but with Recti trading, Philippines can bring this one back. Henry just has the full combo the rest of the map, and okay. There goes Henry. I think it's the United States. Just take it. I'm so sorry.
The score lead was going back so quickly, too. Oh my gosh, man. That would have been so good. In the Philippines, its score lead now slightly just kind of staying in the middle, actually, with those breaks from Taquito and Rectigon, but into the ending of the map, Hyok can only do so much by himself, alongside Henry, might I add, both of them sitting at 500 and 600k. Unfortunately, those other 2 players on the side of the Philippines barely putting up 200 and 300k, compared to the United States with every player over 400k into the ending, does give them the advantage. And that's what we were talking about at the start of that map, was going to be who has the better trio to support their star player. For the United States, it was Boshiman, supported by everyone else. On the Philippines, it was Hyok with an absolutely stellar, almost 700k score. And unfortunately, the trio did not come through for them. But that's only one map. Then we had a breakpoint before, so we'll maybe see another one.
This is true. This is USA's second chance to consolidate the breakpoint, but we saw once again that Nathan Ram had a really solid score as well, and it was just that fourth player, unfortunately, for Philippines, struggling a little bit more, and that's going to be the case on, I'd imagine, most maps in this pool. It is just such a hard pool for a lot of these players. The United States, they have a lot of picks here. I could see them going for something like the Hard Rock 3. They're going to go for the DT2 instead. That's the other one I was going to mention. This is one of the best speed teams in the tournament. You've got Window Life, you've got Woodshi, and then we're going to see Vaxei in and likely Rection as that fourth player.
Or Fiery Rage.
I would be a little surprised to see Fire Rage. He's just hanging out in the lobby, having a good time while he, keeping the spots warm for the rest of his team.
Oh my goodness. Well, look at it this way. We will we'll see what happens on this pick here. I did talk up the Philippines as being a great mechanics team at the start of this match. So Philippines, don't make me a liar, please. I believe in you. You can take this DT2 right now. I believe it. But I'm totally not saying this for self-preservation, but I do believe that they are great on this type of map as well. I talked about the Philippines. DT1 was their highest team score, of last weekend. So they are definitely great at the DT maps. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to be able to maintain that consistency on a stamina-oriented DT map. Now that is really going to be the tale to tell in here. For the United States, there's basically all of the roster. There is all of the roster that you mentioned, iFlame. Spot on. Full US roster.
It is going to be Xylaws again for the Philippines, and I expect Xylaws to do much better this time around. Is on this team as that speed player, and so I don't think Philippines is going to be fourth player nearly as hard. And I completely agree with you. Philippines is a fantastic tapping team, and if we see the nerves come through for Woodshi or Window Life, as we've seen in a couple of previous matches, Philippines could very well take this one. They speed abused South Korea last week, and while they can't do the same against the United States, I think the speed picks are all going to be contested at the very minimum. And here we go into the DT2. This one is 234 BPM, very stamina intensive, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So we're going to see some of these players probably drop quite a bit more accuracy towards the end of the map, find more misses towards the ending. As they start to run out of stamina, nobody misses that first big stream.
Well, nobody missed it, but the accuracy is certainly suffering on the side of the Philippines, giving the United States a little bit of an edge at the start here. I do believe the Philippines can take a breakpoint back, if I'm being perfectly honest, based on statistics and team performances. It is less likely that they will take that breakpoint on this map. They could potentially do it on the next pick. I think DTs are generally pretty comfortable, but that's just going based on the accuracies from the Philippines right now. I mean, you have Milk Tzim sitting down at 96%. You've got Xylos sitting at 96% as well, and Hyok sitting at 97%. The only one really confident right now being Henry. We see no breaks from either teams right now. However, the United States looking solid, Philippines also looking solid, and Window Life doing his job right now. 99.5% accuracy.
The map really starts to pick up into the second half, though. There goes a big miss from Hyok. That's the first big combo down. The United States are going to start to run away with this score lead very quickly. There goes Xylaws as well. Now it's 4 FCs to 2. Yes, we're only a third of the way into the map, but the United States, they're going to start to run away with this one, and they're just going to put the pedal to the metal as they're still on 4 FCs. There's not much you can do about that. We need to see some of those drop off soon.
Well, I don't know what I was expecting right now from the 15th best player in the world, who is a speed main at 99.6% accuracy. It's 2 FCs to 3 right now. The United States needs to drop a combo for the Philippines to get back into this. We are only halfway through the map right now. There's plenty of time for one of these teams to find a break here. Vaxei's accuracy is suffering 95% accuracy now. He is looking to barely hold this. Unfortunately, Milk Tzim drops the second combo for the Philippines.
There goes Window Life. These are the nerfs potentially coming in for the United States players. It's the 2 combos down on those rookies, but it is the veterans, Vaxei, Rectagon, 2 of the best tournament players in the world, holding those FCs up against Enri. And it's a 500,000 difference. We've only got a quarter of the map to go, and unless we see a complete meltdown from Vaxei and Rectagon, I don't think Enri is going to be able to do it on his own, but this ending is so brutal. If we could see it, it would be here.
It would. This is the hardest section of the map right now, but all of these players looking so strong. Vaxei looking the weakest of the 3, which is something I never thought that I would say in my lifetime, but definitely the least comfortable of the 3 FCs in this map, but it doesn't matter. On both of these sides, there's some good supporting scores for both teams, and unfortunately for the Philippines, that is only going to benefit the United States with that double FC still holding intact. Neither Vaxei nor Rectagon letting up, despite Vaxei's accuracy dropping. He does finally drop the FC, and it is just Rectagon to hold the United States into the ending. Now, unfortunately, Enri, despite his great performance, will not be able to do this by himself.
This time around, the United States are going to be able to capitalize on that breakpoint. 2 very impressive full combos, but it is the US taking the point, and now it's up to Philippines to find that pick, and this is what I was talking about earlier. The United States have now won 2 maps in a row, Philippines and their own. You don't want to give them 3 in a row. Going down 4-1, it's far from over, but it's really tough mentally, and so I think this is where we see them opt into that DT1 pick. Now is the time to get that momentum back. You do not want to let USA run away with this match.
It's very possible. Shoutouts to Window Life with 99.56% accuracy alongside Enri and Rectagon with their FCs. That is just some of the most ridiculous 100 counts I've ever seen on a stamina map like that. And Woodchi with a 1 miss as well. So both of those new up-and-coming speed players for the United States doing their job there. Philippines, unfortunately, just not quite having a second FC alongside Enri for long enough for them to be able to compete with that double FC until the ending there. It is now the Philippines' turn to get a map on the board. Again, I kind of mentioned, if there was going to be a break point, I didn't think it was going to be that bad for the Philippines. However, the Philippines can win their own pick and then get a break point immediately afterwards. It is definitely possible there, and that's where I think they're going to have to look now that that stamina map is gone, and most of those kind of Woodchi Window Life maps are out of the pool now, almost. We've dropped that DT2 and 3 already, and DT4 is definitely not, within their skill sets here. So we have DT1 left, which favors the Philippines.
Yeah, this DT pool, which traditionally would be United States favored, isn't really the case this time around. This week has very, very little tapping outside of that DT2 and arguably the DT3, which has been banned out by the Philippines. So United States doesn't have any more free mod they can abuse. And here it is, switched on Lotus. This one is absolute banger of a map, and it is tough. This is an old style DT pick. Fiery does have the 14th score globally on the map, so we're definitely going to be seeing Fiery in for this one. He is going to be terrifying. And I think for the Philippines, we're probably going to see Xylaws in once again for this one. Possible we see Zone Louise, but I would be a little surprised.
Well, I will venture to say that this map is a good pick for the Philippines on the basis of the players who have been playing well right now are the ones that would do well on a map like this.
Oh yeah.
But for the United States, we haven't seen quite as much of this type of skill set from them in this matchup so far, despite having talked about the United States as being a gimmick team. So I'm interested to see, maybe there's a reason why they haven't gone for this yet.
Yeah, the Philippines have been quite strong at gimmick throughout the tournament. Just going back to last week, even after they ran out of speed maps against South Korea, they opted to go into that gimmick and looked really good doing so. We are actually going to see Imposter in for Philippines for the first time, and we're going to get Boshi in as along with Taquito. Some more of those ult-focused players, so no surprises there. Vaxe going to be in for that fourth, so Woodshi subbing out, as you mentioned, not a speed map, so we're not going to be seeing either of the speed players in. And this is a not long, but very tricky DT4. There are so many brutal, really awkward ult patterns that are going to catch a lot of players out. We're going to see some big accuracy drops and potentially some massive chain misses into the ending. So if this one's close into the ending, it could go either way.
Well, either way, we have 3 minutes. This is probably one of the longest and most consistency requiring alt DT maps that we have had in the pool thus far. You know, comparing this to semifinals with Karo Sax being barely over 1 minute, now we're pushing 3 minutes, is, you know, what I would consider almost a completely different skill set, because the players who are normally good at this sort of thing have to carry their skill set so much further and, you know, maintain that sense of confidence throughout a much longer period of time. Unfortunately, the Philippines just found a double break right before that spinner. In a tragic turn of events, the United States will now have a sizable advantage going into this next section here.
It's only Fiery finding the miss for the US, has found another, but he did mention he was mind blocked on the first half of this map in practice, so we could potentially see Fiery Rage recover into the second half, but there's just no recovery on the side of Philippines outside of Hyok. There goes Vaxe now, so that's going to help slow the bleeding a little bit. As long as Henry holds, there is a chance. This map is really, really hard. It only gets harder at the ending. I'd be very shocked to see both Taquito and Bashiman find full combos on this one. And this is where it begins. There are some easier sliders, and then we're right back into those really tricky patterns. Here we go, the big circle, but it's Philippines who finds the only combo drop, and things are looking dire. There goes Bashi, that's a big combo down. Henry still holds Fire Rage. Oh, and Henry is gone. Hyok is still there, trying to match Taquito, but about 100 combo behind, it's not going to be enough. We need misses from Taquito, as well as probably Vaxe, currently matched by Nathan Ram, as Henry finds yet another miss.
Not the best scenario for them. However, there is one combo on both teams being held right now, which is going to at least keep the Philippines in the swing of things here, but the combo is not moving. The score is not moving. Rather, there is nothing dragging this super heavily to one side or the other. The supporting combos are basically even on both sides of these large combos. And now it all comes down to this ending section here. It may be too little too late as well. It's 265,000 score in favor of the United States, but Taquito breaks as I say that.
Hyok, the ending is so brutal. Hyok would have to hit the ending patterns, and they're just so insanely hard. And there goes Hyok, and I think that's going to be it. The accuracy, unfortunately, is not there for the Philippines, with Imposter down at 90% accuracy. And we do see more misses coming out from the US, but unfortunately, there's just not enough recovery combo, not enough time on Philippines, despite Nathan Ram's best effort. And can anyone hit the zigzags?
I believe. I so believe someone's going to hit these. Oh!
Or players?
Hyok almost, Nathan Ram almost hit those at the ending, basically just missing that last note there. But the United States, they do not allow the Philippines to take their own pick. And now the Philippines, they need that break point more than ever. We talked about them potentially winning their own map and then going with the break point back to try and get things through and moving along their way again. But now they seriously need it, and the United States going to be looking for a map that they can use to consolidate that. Of course, they're going to try and get up as far as they can in terms of point leads. I don't know where they go right now. Free mod finally?
I think free mod is just going to look great for them. They've kind of avoided the aim so far in this tournament, but they could go for something a little bit more gimmicky, like that free mod 2, which is almost slider aim. Or if they want to go into alt with, you know, Taquito, Fiery, Vaxi, Rectagon, they could certainly do so and look strong. And just to look back at that last map quickly, it has been the story all match long for Philippines. They had the second, third, and fourth best scores in the lobby. They just didn't have the fourth, and so couldn't keep the score close enough.
You know, this right now, I think a lot of people thought that the matches in the losers bracket were going to be very close this weekend. And, you know, if we look back to Germany versus Canada earlier today, Germany kind of ended up running away with the second half of the match earlier, and we are still at a point in this match where we can prevent that from happening. The Philippines has this match well within their control still. The United States would have to win 3 picks in order to win this match, and the Philippines have plenty of maps left to run in this pool. Do still have Hidden 3 open. They do still have DT1 open. The United States is going to be going for Hard Rock 3 into their next pick. Hard Rock 3, of course, being an OWC original, mapped by Jazag, Quartz Shaper here. What a fantastic song. Honestly, I remember, looking at this map. This is quite difficult, actually, even for the best Hard Rocks here.
Yeah, this is just 4th player abuse from the United States. This is, to me, one of the hardest maps in the pool. If not, probably not the hardest map in the pool, but it's definitely up there. And Philippines have not been a Hard Rock team. We have seen Hyok look solid on the Hard Rock, and Henry has been decent as well. They don't really have a 4th Hard Rock player, and the United States, Fire Rage, Rectigon, Kama, who is absurdly good at the Hard Rock, then you throw in VOD probably as that last player, and that's a tough Hard Rock roster to beat. Rectigon, Kama especially, are going to be the ones to keep an eye on, along with Henry and Hyok, I would say, and we're going to see Xylos in the lobby once again.
Interesting to see who that 4th is going to be for the Philippines on this map. They are running with Hyok, Henry, and Xylos. Could be Nathan Rim. We have yet to see Zone Luis in this match so far. I don't believe that this is probably the pick for Zone, but it is going to be Nathan Ram coming in here. So no Milk Tease him, no Zone on this, and no Imposter or Miggy. Imposter is also another player we have yet to see this match as well. So maybe looking for them to make an appearance somewhere later on in this match. I'm sure they have some picks that they are looking to get in for. And then on the side of the United States, like you said, Taquito, Cheeto Blast, Rectigon, and VOD in for this one. My eyes, they're on Rectigon and Henry right now, right? They are the 2 highest performing players in this lobby. They are also the probably 2 best Hard Rock players, I would say, in this lobby. So they're really going to try and put the work in for their teams here. Also looking at potentially alongside for supporting players, Nathan Ram probably going to be the big supporting player for Henry on this. Has looked good on Hard Rock traditionally. And I personally think Kama might be the big supporter for Rectigon on this if he's feeling well. So
yeah, completely agree on Kama, but for the Philippines, I actually am looking at Hyok this time around in that bottom left corner. Has been the Hard Rock player for the Philippines on all of the free mods throughout this tournament, and so I do think Hyok, if he has the skill cap to play this tech map, is going to be okay. We've got
Rectigon having some technical issues.
Yeah, I think we're going to get an abort here, as everybody seems to be playing a different map.
Yeah, so Rectigon having a bit of technical issues there, disconnecting early on in the map. We are going to, he's restarting his game, so maybe some issue with his client. We will have him reopen, and we'll get him switched back over and get this map running here. Philippines winning that map.
If only. If only.
Start the count again. Start the count again.
Yep, 1-0 Philippines.
1-0 Philippines. We go again. Let's restart the match. Every time someone disconnects during a pick, we should just restart the match.
Absolutely, restart.
You have to play it uninterrupted. We have that on LAN. Never on LAN.
Yeah. We could be here until 2 in the morning.
We could be here for so long if that happened. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess this gives us a chance to maybe have everyone kind of clean up the beginning a little bit now. Maybe see some double S's for the first 50 combo,
I don't know about that. This map is very tricky to hack. I will say it is a shame for Philippines that they can't bring in Zone Luis for this one. Has kind of been their go-to 4th Hard Rock player for most of the tournament. But I think probably just a bit outscaled on this pool, and it's going to force them to bring in Xylos, who is a little bit less comfortable on the Hard Rock. And so here we go, attempt 2. We'll see if they can hold on to their combos through this beginning, and we'll see if Philippines can make this one a little bit closer than our previous match, get a break point back, and keep themselves in this one.
The time has come. The Philippines must now put all that they have into this Hard Rock pick in order to make sure that the second half of this match goes their way. The reigning champions, the United States, looking to advance and not be eliminated before top 4, as one of these two teams looks to face off against the very good-looking Germany tomorrow. They looked stellar. Oh, that's not a good double break from the Philippines there. Kama does trade out the break, however, so it is basically 2 FCs to 3 right now. Just a very early break from Hyok, but that was a tragic double miss.
Accuracy is mostly good on Philippines, except for Xyloz, who is going to need to have some recovery combo, but is not finding it so far. Having a rough time with this map, and this is where you would love to have Zone Louise. Kama finds another miss. There goes Taquito as well, so 2 FCs to 2, and it's Nathan Ram on the recovery, so Philippines could start to bring this one back, but Hyok finds another miss, as well as Xyloz. Unfortunately, United States not trading it back this time around. Nathan Ram, and there goes Enry. It is full resets across the board for Philippines. You've still got Rectigon and Vaxe holding, and we're 3/4 of the way through the map. This one is just over, and United States are going to be up 5-1.
This is not the scenario that the Philippines wanted to be in. Unfortunately, the United States with Rectigon and Vaxe right now just... Okay, there's no way. They both actually just hit that wiggle pattern. Okay, a good score for Enry on the side of the Philippines here. 600,000 plus as well into the ending. 97% accuracy. Rectigon and Vaxe both dropping their FCs into the ending there, but 900k score for 2 players on their side. And unfortunately for the Philippines, running with 170,000, not quite helping them out a lot on that Hard Rock 3, and that was the United States' pick, however. So the Philippines now going to go back to their own side of the playfield here. Maybe they'll finally go for that DT1. Maybe it's time for a little bit of that consistency DT.
Yeah, now Puppet in the Dark is, to be fair, I'd say pretty tricky compared to last week's DT1. So it is possible that they just, one of those players, that 3 core, is feeling outscaled on the map, and so they're going to need to find picks that all 3 of those core members can play. Because if you don't have all 3 able to put up a solid score on it, there's just no chance of winning the map. So that could be the only reason I see them potentially avoiding the DT1. But outside of that, I would have to say it's going to be their best pick. They could also look towards something like that, still that No Mod 1, something more gimmicky. Even potentially one of the free mods in that, free mod 1. But it's tough for Philippines at this point. They're quickly running out of picks.
Yeah, this is definitely getting to the point in the match now where if you don't start winning some of your own maps, you are definitely not setting yourself up for success, given the fact that we are technically 1 point away from match point. It is starting to, this is close by all means, and it's Hidden 3, the Philippines. They're going to go back to that Hidden pool. They picked Hidden 2 earlier in this match, and, all things being said, it wasn't the worst of time for them. They unfortunately did lose the Hidden 2 pick by about 100,000 score. Hidden 3, completely different map though, right? Hidden 2 is that consistency reading map. Hidden 3, this is basically tech mechanics, right? This is like kind of that stream control type tech where it's tapping based, but it still requires you to focus very heavily on where your cursor is. So the Philippines may be trying to combine the best of both worlds with some of their players' tech's abilities and the fact that they are maybe a good mechanics team, in the scope of this match. So I can see this working out for them. I still really, really think the Philippines needs to pick DT1 soon, though. Next, if anything.
I think they're trying to put their eggs in the Enry basket. This for Philippines, this is very much a Enry map, but on the side of the United States, this is also very much a Taquito map. That man is a monster on the hidden, also a monster on the tech, and I could see Taquito matching Enry, so we're going to need to see something crazy out of Enry here if Philippines want to take this one. They do have Hyok and Nathan, who should be able to put up solid supporting scores. along with Imposter in the top right corner for the Philippines. I appreciate that their core continues to switch around, so we can't have any consistency with the names. It's good fun. Yeah.
Well, this is Imposter's first map of the match too, so everyone give a big round of applause for Imposter. He showed up. Let's go. Good job. Good job. Good job.
I think Imposter did play one earlier.
Did he? I did not see Imposter in for an earlier map. Am I throwing?
First 2 maps, if I remember.
2049? No. Okay, this is Imposter's first map.
Okay.
So yeah, give it up for Imposter. Let's see how they do on their first map of this match. Maybe they'll be the key to the Philippines maybe grabbing this pick out here. But we'll see as we go in for this map. Again, new players could bring new things. They are on this roster for a reason, and while they might not play quite as much as the kind of like Henry Nathan Ram combo here, are holding good accuracy at the start of this map along with everyone else.
Yeah, Imposter did play the DT4, so we'll see.
Yeah. I'm so throwing, dude. It's unbelievable how much I'm throwing.
You are forgiving. Rectagon finds the first miss of the hidden 3, and this hidden 3 is very consistent in difficulty. It is hard. It is hard the whole way through. Players can miss anywhere. There's not really much break to build up free combo. And we've seen 3 misses. 2 of those for the side of the Philippines. Boncho is going to build some anticipation here as we get into that little bit of a trickier section. Some of these longer sliders, really tough to act with the hidden. And there goes Nathan Ram now, as well as Tiak. It is all full combos down for the side of the Philippines. Kama does trade it back, but it is only Henry holding any combo whatsoever for the Philippines. And Henry's going to need to pull off a miracle. Look at Taquito on 99% accuracy, still holding the full combo, along with Vaxay. Taquito doing what he does best. Okay, there goes Taquito, but Vaxay is still holding, so Philippines have a window back into this one. It's not over yet, but they need that miss from Vaxay, and they need it soon.
This is one of the harder sections of the map, and the key eye right now, and we do see 2 breaks come out from the Philippines, but there goes Vaxay and Rectagon with those big combos. It is now down to the original Hyuk to hold this 300 combo, the only person with above 100 combo in the entire lobby. It's only 150,000-ish score between the 2 of these teams right now. This is doable.
Certainly is.
1/3.
We need Hyuk to hold on to the combo, though. It is 150,000, but there should be time, assuming we don't see any meltdowns from the Philippines. Now, the scary thing is, the ending of this map, very tricky. If we see chain misses from, either Imposter or Nathan Ram, it's just not going to come back over. The combo might not be enough with the accuracy. Here we go, into the last key eye. There goes Kama, traded by Nathan Ram. Everybody else holding for now. Vaxay is on a really good recovery combo, matching Henry, but Hyuk continues to hold. Is that biggest combo? The score is going back over so slowly Nathan Ram continues to find the miss, and most of the US has recovered, and it isn't enough. Unfortunately, the US are on match point, and Chillier, this could be it for Philippines. They've got 1 chance left to keep themselves in this one.
Man, Hyuk was trying to do whatever he could at the ending of that map there, putting up 771 combo. Unfortunately, the supporting all-round performance from the United States, once again, every single player above 400,000 there. The Philippines, they are trying so much to keep themselves in this match, to have they have already put up the #1 performance that this country ever has in the OWC World Cup. They're looking to continue that. This is certainly not over yet, but the United States is making it very difficult for them as we go into what could potentially be the final pick for the United States in this match if the Philippines can't find some way to put themselves together into the ending of this match here. But the reigning champions proving that while they are in the losers bracket, they are still capable of these late stage performances.
And the United States, they have the pick here. I think they're going to take some time to think about this one. They don't want to give Philippines a window back into this match. Because as you mentioned, Philippines, they can make the comeback. If they win this pick, there's a chance. Every map, despite the score, has been incredibly close. Most maps have been won by the US by less than 200,000. Around that, there have been a couple more one-sided, but generally Philippines have been keeping things close, and all you need is maybe 1 or 2 extra misses from the US, and all of a sudden the Philippines take those, and it is the United States picking the DT1. don't know that I was expecting this one. This, to me, was a Philippines pick, but the United States are feeling confident. We're going to see Recti, Vaxe, probably Taquito for this one.
This is an interesting one. For those who have been here for the entirety of the match, I think almost every single turn for a Philippines pick, I believe we've been mentioning that we thought the Philippines was going to pick DT1. This was their #1 team score from last weekend, was on a DT1. They were over 3 million on this map in terms of a team score. So I am very surprised that the United States has opted in to go to a DT1 route against them. But, maybe they're thinking the Philippines, running with that kind of triple core on their roster, they might have a fourth that they know is confident to try and, keep them with a little bit of an advantage here. But, being at, 6-1, this is the point in the match where the United States can maybe take a risk like this. It's not quite as dangerous of a scenario if they do lose this pick, because they know, they have at least 1 or 2 picks left after this should they let this one slip away. Now, we have seen that lead to comebacks before, but, everything's got to start somewhere. But they do have room right now, so we are just hoping that this is not a repeat of Canada versus Germany earlier. So many Canada supporters disappointed by the outcome of that match, but Germany definitely looking confident across the board there. We may potentially see the same thing in both of these losers bracket matches, but the Philippines, they are down but not out.
Yep. And now I think we're potentially seeing why Philippines was hesitant to pick this one. We have got Xyloz and Milkteism in the lobby right now. We are, of course, going to see Emery, but no Nathan Ram. I guess just not comfortable with this one, but for the Philippines, I want to keep an eye on Hyok. 2044 in that top right corner was the second best score on the DT1 last week. The only FC on the map aside from Emrek, who's of course just the best DT player in the world. So maybe Hyok, along with Emery, can pull something off, but you're up against Kama and Window Life, along with Rectigon and Vex. It is a terrifying roster for the US to close this one out. It is a long one. 4 minutes of DT, 4 minutes of Puppet in the dark, and 4 minutes to find out if the Philippines can hold on for a little bit longer, or if the United States will be going on to the top 4 once again.
Yes, will they make it to the grand finals weekend for the 9th year in a row, or will the Philippines pull themselves together just a little bit and drag this match on for one map more? It all starts with Puppet in the Dark here. This is 4 minutes and 15 seconds of 260 BPM DT consistency aim. Some bursts thrown in the middle too, just for good measure. Here we go.
You have to think those bursts are the reason Nathan Ram is sitting this one out. The last week's DT1 had very, very few bursts. This one, much burst here. Yes, the aim is the trickiest part, but you have to be able to hit the burst as well. Those are, if I'm remembering correctly, 257 BPM, so they are by no means easy, and we're going to find out very, very quickly who is comfortable on this map and who is going to struggle early on. And there goes Window Life with the first miss of the match.
An interesting miss to start the match, the map off. But Henry does trade out that break-in. There goes Rectigon as well. So it's now 3 FCs to 2. The United States running behind a little bit. And the Philippines, for the first time in a very long time, is going to take a lead at the beginning of this map. And we talked about this earlier, but DT1, this is a pick we've been discussing for many, many a time as we have been progressing through this match. We'll see what happens now as we get into the Ki starting now.
Yep. Right now it is the Philippines with the lead. They hold the combo advantage by quite a bit, but this is the first Ki. This is where we're going to start to see more misses, I would have to imagine. But everybody holding on so far. There is still a lot of Ki left to go, so plenty of time for the Philippines to find misses, but looking good for now, and it looks like they've been able to hold on. Oh, there goes Milkteism, as well as Xyloz. Those are the two we were a little bit more worried about for the Philippines, and this is right back in favor of the United States. Rectigon and Window Life both on big recovery combos. That score bar flips over instantly, and now Philippines are going to need a meltdown from the US as they very quickly run out of time. And things are looking dire here.
Well, they're looking dire, but we're halfway through the map right now, and there's good supporting scores on both sides as Vaxi drops his full combo. It now comes down to Kama for the United States, the newcomer, the player who has been talked up the most of the new additions to this United States roster. Will he be able to hold this down for the United States? He is the only thing standing in between the United States and losing this pick right now. His aim is holding strong. His tapping is maintaining throughout the entire pick. Two of his teammates drop, and he does finally drop his combo. It's down to Hyok.
There's so much time left. There's still a quarter of the map to go. They have the time. The score leader is going to go back over. Xylazals and Milk Teaism find misses, but it doesn't really matter as long as those two big combos hold for Philippines. Unfortunately, Window Life is not enough to match, but if we see Hyok miss, that is going to spell the end for Philippines. So it is all on Hyok right now. There goes Hyok. Oh, but Window Life trades it back. Now it's on Enry. Enry can bring this one back. The score lead flips back over, and so Enry can do it. Enry is the star player for this team and is going to keep Philippines in this one for one map longer.
This is it. In the last section of the map right now, this consistent jumps and triple section. There goes Kama, there goes Rectigon. Enry does find a break at the ending, but I don't think there's enough time for the United States. The Philippines will survive for one map more as we come into the last section of the pick here. I don't think there's enough time, and I think it is secured. The Philippines will not be out. There is 2 points for them on the board, and the DT1 does work, and they didn't have to pick it, which is an even better thing for them. And they stay in.
And look who it is. Hyok 2044, number 2 only to Emrek. On the DT1 last week, 930,000, top scoring the lobby this week. Absolutely massive, and I think that's going to be the second best score across the tournament so far. Only second to Okinamo, and now Philippines has the pick. They can get some momentum back here, but they have to consider this pick very, very carefully. They don't have a lot of amazing options. And so they may need a little bit of luck on the US side, but they can certainly do this.
They certainly can. This is the start we were talking about. They just needed to win one map to get that momentum back, and now if they can kick this, we've seen teams come back from scenarios that are this dire. They need to get this map down. The question is, the free mod pool is untouched, as is the no mod pool. The Philippines, they were good at the DT, but they were also good with the hidden, which happens to be picked out as well. So do they go for the no mod pool? I think that they might. They did not have a great time on the Hard Rock 3, and, you know, maybe they, if they're confident on the aim, they go for the free mod 1, but, you know, I'm maybe looking for some of these no mod maps to be a pick for them.
I completely agree. United States has a lot of different options they can go for with their mods. You have Rectigon and Taquito, who are some of the best players in the game at their respective mod categories. And I'm not sure on the Philippines, you want to really throw your best players on some of those tricky mods. You want your best players to have an easier time, and you want them to have the best chance of putting up those massive combos. So I think the free mod, while it is an option, less likely here and would be a massive risk, because then what happens is you need Hyok to pull out a massive hard rock combo, which on certain free mods is going to be really tricky. I do think something like the No Mod 4 is a little bit more likely. That seems like a map that Enry could certainly pop off on, but it is also one of the hardest maps in the pool. So then there's the concern of, can you make up that score difference from the fourth player? It almost have to be a 3v4. Philippines here, they're going to be taking into consideration, all right, what can Nathan, Henry, and Hyok play? And they're going to be picking for those three. And we should be finding out that pick soon after this timeout.
Yeah, they did just use their timeout here, so that is now gone. The timer has been reset to 2 minutes, and they will have some extra time to maybe bring those nerves down a little bit, take a couple extra seconds. They may already know their pick. They may just want a couple extra seconds to, you know, kind of prepare themselves for it. You know, we can't exactly see who's in the lobby right now. There could be all four. There could be nobody. They could be practicing something, but we are looking for the Philippines. This is their time to make a stand. They need to win their map. This is again, we talked about that could have been the United States' final pick. This could be the Philippines' final pick here. They are looking for some avenue back into this match. If they win this map, they do need to take, now get this, 2 break points in order to get to match point against the United States. They need to win their map, then the United States', then theirs, then the United States'. That's how their plan is going to go in order to get to tiebreaker, which is where they need to be now in order to win this match. The United States sitting pretty comfortably there at match point. You know, they know that all they have to do is just play their best and then, you know, see if they can hope that they can avoid tiebreaker here. The Philippines, they're the ones putting the work in here.
Yeah, and they know their pick by now, right? They don't need that long to figure out the pick, but they know the scores have been close. They know there's the no mod 4 that we expected. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Henry, and I really think the Philippines needed that timeout to just, you know, take a breather, get some water, relax a little bit, and try and calm those nerves, because they really do think they have a chance back into this one if they play well. They've just taken a break point off the US, their second break point of the match. And so if they can take their own point, they can take another break point off the US. There aren't any free picks for the United States anymore. We're at the point of the match where there's very few picks left in the match. After this no mod 4, you've got no mod 1 and 2 and those 3 free mods. And so Philippines, they could have a chance here, and I imagine we're going to see, okay, we might see Imposter in the lobby for the Philippines.
This map is crazy. This map is absolutely insane. Great song, a great map. But this is some of the most ballistic slider tech that I have seen put in a tournament in a very long time. It's got these massive high-velocity sliders mixed in with some of these aim-controlled double patterns in between them as well. So you not only have to, you know, maintain your cursor control through slider ticks, but you have to, you know, aim to these circles with almost precision, too. Despite this being CS 3.5, it's so quick between them, and they're so spaced apart in some cases that you almost do need to be a precision player to hit some of these patterns. For the Philippines, Henry is going to be the person to look for on this map. This is just Tech City for him. It's also kind of Tech City for someone like Fiery Rage, who is great at maps of this style. Consistency speaking, I'm not entirely sure, but in terms of skill cap, definitely Taquito also sitting there as well. And we're waiting for that third for the Philippines, I imagine. Yes, it is going to be Nathan Ram coming back in, that core.
Yep. And I will say, Imposter has been the go-to tech player for Philippines outside of that core 3, so it's not like Imposter is going to be getting 100,000 points on the map, we would hope. And so I think Philippines' 4th player will at least be competitive, but as you mentioned, these are 3 very scary tech players on the side of the US. I think players to watch out for are this one. Probably going to be Rectagon along with Taquito, very well known for the tech. And we'll see if Hiok can once again put up a massive combo to keep Philippines in this one. This tech pick, one of the hardest maps in the pool. It's lots of slider tech, really tough to act. And there's some aim control as well towards the start of the map, about a quarter of the way through. And so we'll have to see if that claims any combos.
We'll see. This is going to be a fun one to watch. This is personally one of my favorite maps in the pool. This map just goes absolutely ridiculous. To see a player hit some of this is going to be wild. Fiery Rage going to find the first break for the United States on this map. Not too concerned here, only about 100 combo in, but definitely going to be keeping things at bay for the time being, given the United States has a little bit higher accuracy is what's keeping them in the lead right now. We're looking for any major break in this slider section, and here we go into some of these kind of cut patterns, and here's some of the doubles I talked about with these streams in between, some aim control components to this as well. Everyone looking so strong on this. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Yeah. There goes Imposter. First miss of the first big one. There goes Henry as well. That's not what you want to see for them. Henry was the player you wanted to put that big combo on. Luckily, Fiery has dropped some accuracy, so it's not going to go over super quickly, but there goes Rectagon as well, so that's going to slow things down. Vaxay now finding the miss. All of a sudden, it is 1 FC to 1, but Fiery Rage is on that big recovery combo, and Fiery Rage is doing enough to keep this one solidly in favor of the USA. We are halfway through the map, and the ending of this map is brutal. The question is, can Hiok hold on and do it again for the Philippines? Did it on that previous map. Can he do it again? This is where Fire Rage finds the miss now. Oh, but Taquitos was a Bancho miss, so Taquito still has that full combo. And now it's one big combo to one. Henry on the recovery.
Big supporting combo as well coming up here. Rectagon just slightly behind as that supporting score here. Back to Fiery Rage kind of matching up with another break from Fiery Rage. That's going to give some more score advantage over towards the Philippines now as we approach the final third of this No Mod 4 here. Unfortunately, another break from Hyuk going to be putting them into disarray here. It is the original once again holding them down on the United States. It's Taquito who will find that break. Taquito is at 95% accuracy and dropping on these sliders. There's more breaks from the Philippines, but the United States trades it out with a double. It's Fiery Rage and Rectagon. It's going to be so close into the ending. Taquito finds the break, and that could be it.
It's going back over, but Hyuk and Henry both need to hold. We're coming towards the end of this map. There are some really insane sliders right at the very end. The score is going back over so quickly. And Hyuk finds the miss. Henry's still holding. Will it be enough with Henry?
It's 5,000.
It's going to be so close. Every accuracy drop matters at this point. 1,000 points. Henry needs to hit the ending patterns, though.
He's got it. He's basically got it. There's nothing to miss at the ending here. There's no combos on the United States, and the Philippines is going to make it through these final sliders. 15,000 score and climbing. Henry showing off an absolute mastery of sliders, and he brings it in after Hyuk carries the entire beginning. Henry is going to close it out with the highest score in the lobby and an S rank at that. Holy...
The accuracy for Henry as well, 97.92, nearly 98. Taquito also with an S rank, but what a performance from Henry, as well as Hyuk, who had very comparable score, only about 20,000 points behind Henry. And Chillier, this could be the start of the comeback. It was 6-1, now 6-3. Philippines need 3 more points to bring this one to tiebreaker. And the US, they don't have any obvious picks left.
They certainly do not. I don't know if anything's an obvious pick at this point left in this match, but man, Henry gave me the play that I was looking to see on that No Mod 4. I talked about how much I liked that map, but watching that play just probably made me like that map even more. Nothing makes you want to play a map in this pool like seeing someone just rip out a score on it. And that is the performance for the Philippines that they wanted to see on that pick. This is the United States' pick 1 of 2 that the Philippines needs to win now. This is 50% of the battle for the Philippines is winning this next pick right now. The United States has saved the free mod pool for this long in the match. Will they finally start to break into it? I'm interested now. They could go for a Hard Rock one, but given their overmodding history and their ability to maybe have a hidden player on some of these maps and not just having to run with Hard Rock, they may opt in for the free mod, because Hard Rock 1 is definitely a little bit more similar to that consistency game, which might be RNG. And there's the free mod 3. Yes, it is Sound Piercer.
Sound Piercer, indeed. This is another OWC original. This is very, very aim control heavy. A little bit of slider tech in there as well. This one's another tricky one. The ending especially is absurdly difficult. And so this is one where I think, this is what I was a little bit worried about for the Philippines, right? Now we know Henry is going to be on the hidden, Hyuk is going to be on the Hard Rock, but those are the two who have been the carries, right? You need them to be putting up big scores, and this map is absurdly difficult on Hard Rock, and Hyuk is going to have to put up a miracle performance on this Hard Rock for Philippines to take this one, but he has done so. The last 2 maps, Hyuk has put up those monstrous performances, and I don't think it's impossible that we see that happen again. Philippines are definitely not out of this one. We're going to see Nathan Ram on the No Mod, and I would have to imagine for a pick like this, it's probably going to be maybe Imposter, maybe Xyloz. It's going to be one of the 2.
Yeah, I think that they will probably, kind of mix it up a little bit. I think in terms of this type of map, Imposter, I think, would make a little bit more sense, given that this is, kind of more towards his skill set. I'm interested to, see what these final rosters are. The United States, now here's something I want to get your thoughts on. The United States not only has a history of having some of the biggest overmods of each weekend, but they do it consistently. Do you think at this point in the match, the United States goes for an overmod again, or are they going to play it safe?
I think you play it safe here, because if you drop this point, you're down 7-4, and Philippines has the pick. 6-4. Philippines with the pick could very well make it 6-5, and things get really dicey. You have Rectigon, one of the best Hard Rock players in the game. You have Taquito, one of the best hidden players in the game. There's no need to go for any mods outside of that. Maybe Rectigon wants to take a Comfort Hidden along with the Hard Rock, but Fire Rage Vaxei are almost certainly going to be on the no mod. This is not one of those maps like the Free Mod 4 where the Hard Rock makes it more comfortable for some players. And they could prove me wrong in a second, but I just don't see it.
Not quite. We'll see if we can see it after. It does end up being Xylos in for this map instead of Impouster, so we're running with that core trio and Xylos for the Philippines here. We have Hard Rock on Xylos here, so we are running Henry on Hidden, and Nathan Ram's going to be going for that no mod, maybe trying to get an FC down on the board here as well as Hyuk.
Yep. No overmods for the US as expected, and I love what Philippines has done there. I believe this is the first time we've seen Hyuk not taking the Hard Rock for the free mod, but you know your fourth player is probably going to struggle anyways. You just have them tank the Hard Rock, and you say, alright Hyuk, you take the no mod, have a bit of an easier time, and put up that big carry score that we need. So all eyes on Hyuk on the no mod. We'll see if this pays off. I think Xylos is going to struggle very hard, but that's what they're expecting, as Fire Rage does trade one. There goes Hyuk now, trading it back. And so it is just going to be 2 FCs to none, as USA have found full resets, but this is a not super long map, actually. Philippines are off to a great start. Oh, there goes...
Wait, that full reset's going to be huge for the Philippines here. The United States is going to be fighting an uphill battle for the entire remainder of this pick right now, as whatever the hell combos are being put up on the Philippines right now continue persisting on now just Nathan Ram. But the United States is trying to claw their way back into this now. Hyuk's trying to put up a supporting score to now battle against the United States. Rectigun finds a miss on the Hard Rock. It's traded by Xylos. That is not going to favor either side. The United States with that score advantage basically on Taquito and Vaxei right now.
Yep, we need to see Hyuk recover, right? This is the other side of having that player on the no mod. Taquito, Fire Rage do find big misses. Those are chain misses, but here's the thing for the Philippines. They are effectively 3v4. They knew this going in, but you need Hyuk to put up a massive combo here. Henry finds another miss. That was the lower combo on Philippines. They're slowly bringing this one back, as Nathan Ram could do it on the Nomad. Quarter of the map to go. If Nathan Ram can hold, they're going to bring this one back, but this ending is absurdly tricky with some of those overlapping fifth note patterns. Nathan still holding, but so is Vaxei. It's not going to be enough, as Rectigon is on the recovery along with Fiery Rage, and I don't think Nathan Ram can do it alone. Rectigon misses, but Vaxei continues to hold, and unless we see the miss from Vaxei in the next 10 seconds, it's not going to be enough.
I think you're right. Vaxei has simply held for too long. It looked all but likely for the entirety of this pick. Fiery Rage even finds a break into the ending, and so does the entirety of Team Philippines, along with Vaxei. Does Hyuk hold it? No. He does. Nathan Ram with the full combo. What a ridiculous performance, but not quite enough against the United States. The reigning champions will be your victors of this match. The United States 7-3 will knock the Philippines out in the losers bracket finals. What a play from Nathan Ram. Holy.
That's absurd. This is a very hard map, as evidenced by Hyuk, who has been one of the primary carriers for Philippines, as well as Henry, getting 300,000. So well done to them. The Philippines, of course, will be disappointed. Never feels good to lose, but they can look back on this OWC performance with pride. They've gotten the Philippines the highest performance they have ever had, so going out in top 6, not going to be the end of the world. And of course, huge congratulations to the USA, who are going to be fighting for their 6th OSU World Cup title in a row next week in the grand finals. But before that, they have to face Germany, who has looked fantastic as well. So they're top 4, but not quite to grand finals yet. And we do also have Australia, South Korea playing in the winners bracket. One of those teams will, of course, move straight through to the top 2. One of them will have to drop to the losers bracket to play either United States or Germany depending on who wins that one. Now, our next match is going to be South Korea, Australia, 10 UTC. That's going to be a banger. South Korea, of course, favorites going into the tournament, up against Australia, who has been a little bit of a surprise to most people, but they have been the best performing team statistically over the last 2 weeks, so we'll see what happens there.
We shall see. Germany versus the United States for that final spot in Grand Finals weekend. Your top 3 will be decided by the end of day Sunday tomorrow. I want to end off my bit here by letting you all know that you should go purchase some banners to support your teams if you would like to. This is the final of the 2 days that you can buy banners. That is right. Once finals weekend is over, you will no longer be able to purchase banners for your favorite teams to support them. Those end finals weekend. So you have today and tomorrow in order to get those. So barely any time left. We want to thank you all really quickly as well for your generous support for the banners this year. All of the money spent on banners goes to the teams playing in this tournament, directly supporting our prize pool.
Yep. Go get your banners. We thank you all for watching. And guys, stay tuned for that Australia-South Korea match. I know it is late for all of you North Americans, but I promise you it will be worth it. That might be the best match of this weekend. So stay tuned. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Chillier, for commentating with me today, and I hope you all have a good one. We'll see you back soon.